So okay. Do I have every tag? Yes. Nice. Okay, I will check real quick if everything is fine. I think yes. Been a while. Yes. Nice. Okay, don't need to have anything here, and here we go. Okay. So let's start. First of all, those are my characters. I'm still the poison shred dude, but I will be pushing the Necromancer because I think this one is ready now. I came up with a variation that utilizes the Necromancer minions to use them as basically meat shields. And it's a lot tankier than I would have otherwise expected it to be. Yeah, so I'm pushing Nightmare Dungeons to basically finish up the Paragon board. I'm a little bit off, so I picked up this board first because I want this bonus here, the 25% damage to injured enemies and possibly others, but I'm not entirely sure if this board is the right one. I want the Flesh Eater one here because we're using a ton of corpses, and currently I am trying to get those, so the damage reduction for minions so they don't fall out of favor. Yeah, so I have no sigils left, so I'm going to craft some. Yes. Pretty satisfied with Necromancer. I was a bit skeptical at first because of the slower gameplay, but I think it's close to Druid. Especially on a Lightning Storm Druid, which is kind of also slow. So let's craft some. So this build can clear 48, 45, 47, somewhere around that, without any issues. Like cold enemies will completely wreck you, but otherwise I was farming 31 to 40. So I think I will start with those and see what we get. Lost Archives and Nixhold. That's fine. That's garbage. That's fine, that's fine. And we can deal with those. Oh, I have one. Champion's Demise. And let's see, what do we have? Yes, I'm basically rich currently with 200k in my bank because I sold a few gloves. So I'm always checking everything. I think the stream's lagging? No, it's not lagging. This was the game. Don't need those. Those are basically useless. Nope. Nope. Salvage. Injured compound fracture. That can be useful. We have a better one. So all the gear I'm featuring here, which is solo self-found, so nothing is bought except the boots, because I used an aspect I found on my druid on my old boots, and they are basically now useless now. I can show you. It's such a bad system. So my previous boots are in my stash currently, and I'm not using them. I will refresh. refresh the stream real quick. Where are they? Somewhere in here. What would I give for a search function? Yeah, here we go. No, that's not the right one. Did I sell them? Might have. No, here we go. Imprinted. And they're done. I think that's a garbage system, but that's what we get. So, by the way, I'm not entirely sure why those are still locked, because I can access those waypoints, but not in cities. So, kind of weird. Let's start with abandoned mineworks. The new teleportation system is also very nice, especially on newer characters. So you can unlock all waypoints near those without any issues. Leaky. So I have not given up on the druid, by the way. I am still a druid enjoyer. However, currently I need something else in my life, at least for a few days. That Tempest Raw grind really got to me. So let's get our minions going. The good thing about minions is the corpse uptime is really high. They're really nice meat shields, except for the bone ballista enemies. Those still one-shot you through basically everything you have. We can use Bone Prison to generate corpses, and it's a really nice meat shield. So enemies usually do not target it because it's a foreign object that's not attacking them. So it's not in their priority, and they are trying to get to our other minions. So it basically body blocks enemies, and you can circumvent getting into the meat. If you know what I mean, because we are a bone necromancer. I found it kind of fitting, so I decided for the skeletons. I'm not using a golem because there is no room on my bar, but I think Bloody Mist is a candidate that I probably get off the bar, but it's a nice get out of jail free card, so not entirely sure about that one yet. There's a few things I learned about the Necromancer and the behavior of minions, especially of the melee minions. They're awfully similar to the wolf minions, but still deal a ton more damage than the wolf minions, which is mind-boggling to me. I also do not have any lucky hit aspect that regenerates my essence, so most of it is done through the minions, code-specific minions, because they generate essence whenever they hit a vulnerable target, and we make targets always vulnerable basically with every spell we deal. And we also have Bone Prison, which also generates a ton of essence, so we are basically always full on essence. Yeah, so this difficulty is not really challenging to us.
Wouldn't have made it without you.
Okay, to go here. Also, if you have any questions regarding any of my builds, you can ask. I know there are a few comments that always try to cover every single one of you, but sometimes it's not feasible, because I do get quite a lot of comments. It takes quite a while to think of an answer. So.
You were the answer to my prayers.
I think this build is even good enough without the essence regeneration aspect and a lucky hit. We'll probably get the Necromancer Ice Storm, thingy, the Blizzard they cast, to get another chill instance and freeze enemies for another layer of defenses. So that's what I meant. It's quite nice they cannot get through here, because they target you and do not destroy the walls.
I'm not ready yet.
And your enemies, your minions, are quite tanky anyway. Has to do with their armor scaling and the DR we are getting right now. Let's get out. Group them up and they're dead. Close. Poison damage is scary. Pretty sure it's bugged also for enemies. Didn't feel like it on the druid, because druids are quite tanky. The innate tankiness they have is just insane. Put down the wall behind us. Grab enemies in the corridor. Minions are depleted.
I'm low on essence.
Oh, that was scary. Okay, so that should be the first. No, that's an event. Last stand is always worth doing, so always do your last stand. Thanks a lot, man. It's taking a lot more to make the new guides. There is a lot of competition, especially when you're trying to make endgame viable builds. It's mostly just flavors of different abilities at this point, because most of the broken mechanics got discovered. But I'm really hyped for Season 1, so let's see what they cook up. Maybe we'll get another ability layer, maybe another world tier. Yeah, so that's really not that good. We are going to try to kite them in the corridor. Get a route of escape. So minions are dying currently, so let's replenish our front line. That's really bad. A suppressor monster is not good, but we can get in and nuke them.
Are not ready yet.
I feel like Necromancer is a lot more demanding than just playing a Druid. Druid can ignore so many mechanics. I was thinking putting Druid in a C tier, but after playing the Necromancer and Sorceress, I think they're S tier, like, no matter what. And uniques make them really broken. Just... the defensive layers you have, the utility you bring to a party and to basically everything. Have you been trying diabloiv? Yes, I have been trying diabloiv. I made it to the second phase, but I'm getting my ass kicked basically the whole way through. It's all about, can you proc your poison, the poison creeper multiple times and nuke her in the first phase, then you get in the second phase and you have to try again and again and again if you do not have the mechanics to dodge your abilities. And I currently am still learning the fight. Like, the usual first wave she does when she flies up is possible for me now, but in the second phase I'm still learning. Like, the ghost thingies do not one-shot you, by the way, on the build. You have enough defenses, but when you are hit by 2 or just chip damage and the ghost thingy, you're basically done. Yeah, the Thunderstorm, it's such a satisfying playstyle. I'm really loving it, and I'm so sad I don't have the Tempest Draw for it, because it would be so much better with Tempest Draw. I would really love to try it out. The additional Inner Beast and I think it was the Lust for Carnage sustain on your spirit is just the best thing ever. Let's grab the Artillery Shrine, speed things up a bit. So why I'm playing the Necromancer, by the way, is because I have been watching Crip quite a lot, and he's trying for the Necromancer, and he got me in the mood for it. So let's see, what do we have next? Abandoned Mineworks. Let's do one more. Nah, I think we are going to go with a little bit of Champion's Demise. I think it's not that RNG heavy. Usually the first things you notice about the fight is the waves that are one-shotting you, and those come in certain patterns. There are 3 patterns. When you memorize them, it's quite easy. But like I said, I'm a noob at that fight. Like, I just can't do it. I know some other dudes, like for example Rex, tried over 500 times for that fight specifically, and he reached a second phase 170 times until he finally got her. So it's just an extremely tough fight. So let's do Champion's Demise. Nah, I'm sure you're fine. It's just a really tough fight. Werewolf, I think there was one dude that tried a ton of times. I think he streamed on Twitch. Not entirely sure, but he uploaded a video when he got to 7% after like 7 hours of streaming. And it was the first attempt that even came close to killing Lilith on a druid. Except for the one guy that abused Poison Bug. But it was like 2 weeks ago, so... I'm just happy that the last video is performing well. Oh, I was kind of worried that it will not perform well. Diablo 4 has seen quite a lot of people just dropping the game, at least until Season 1, because of the low drop rates and empty endgame, basically. But I'm still enjoying the game. I'm an ARPG fan, I don't mind doing more. That's the... This event, always skip. It's just the worst event. It's so bad. It gives you like no XP and no rewards. It's really, really bad. So let's go for here. Cursed chest, always do them. Oop, my minions died. Let's replenish the front line. One more, there we go. Yeah, minions are so good for essence sustain. Look at my essence. Look at this, that's insane. Like the essence sustain is just insane on the mages. Kind of hoping they will buff the defenses of the minions in the next season. So they're not constantly dying in higher difficulties. They're fine for 50, 56, somewhere around that ballpark, and then they are getting one-shot again. Well, there cannot be one-shot because we have the passive that makes it impossible. But there are so many instances of just chip damage and they do not recover. By the way, life on kill recovery works on the minions. So if you're playing with minions, it's better to use the scythe. For example, this one, like life on kill, instead of just a two-handed sword. But by the way, two-handed sword here is beautiful, just beautiful. Yeah, I think the last build I made is a little bit better with the Tempest Draw, because you can just drop Rabies and just pick up Hurricane. And this will make it possible to proc of Might, and you can just then implement of Might on the build, and it makes everything broken. Basically just this. So you have your Hurricane plus your Storm Strikes, you always deal. And when you recover and proc of Might, you're basically dealing obscene amounts of damage, because every tick of Hurricane, I only theorize this, but every tick of Hurricane is applying the poison, the base poison you get from the Wild Claws passive. I think Wild Claws was the one. So on a critical strike you're getting up to 50% poison damage, base poison damage on the enemy, and Hurricane has a ton of ticks that can proc it. So let's trap this one. I hate those enemies. Those enemies just really unpleasant to fight, like the fire explosion one. Don't know why they deal a ton of damage compared to every other enemy in the game. So our backs are full, that's not good. I should stop picking up sacred items. Intelligent, no, that's quite bad. Rings are so hard to come by on Necromancer. Let's see. Made the rogue yet? Yeah, I have been playing around with rogue during the beta quite a lot, like 60-70 hours. Was one of my favorite classes. I thought it's either going to be the rogue or the druid, but I decided against. Oh wait, I need those. Wait a minute. Don't have any in my weapon yet. Yeah, the Toxic Cloth passive is the one. It's just really busted on the Stormcloud Druid. So you can even combine it with the Crone Staff instead of the Gibbous and run around. Ooh, those are not good. So let's retreat, recover our enemy. So why we are, by the way, using those minions is because of the essence cap. we get more multiplier per essence and we get 5 per minion. So when we have a ton of minions out, like so, our essence upper limit is quite high. I'll quickly sell and come back into the dungeon. Next time my Lilith runs are embarrassingly bad. I usually do them in the morning when I'm refreshed, because every mistake is going to cost us your life.
I can sell.
Those are garbage. No. Always check your gloves, by the way, and sell the good ones. You can make so much money with this. Money is important, so basically sometime later you can just skip entirely looting. Don't think that's a positive, to be honest.
I cannot carry more.
By the way, the memes of Necromancer being slow are completely true. I'm a snail. Don't know what character you will play for season 1. I am not entirely sure. It really depends on the patch notes. If I'm inclined to lean into the druid, because I really like the druid. Wait, I need to... fuck. So let's close Discord. I need to close Discord. Too many people are tagging me. Sorry for the tag. So, what was I? Yeah, exactly. So season 1 highly depends what they buff, what they nerf. I'm a little bit tired of the druid to the point I don't want to play it for season 1, not because I don't enjoy the gameplay, don't enjoy my builds, but because it's hard for me to recommend it when... How do I put this? Think about it like that. You try to push the new content, right? And I'm hopeful they will make Nightmare Dungeons above 50 mean something, other than just a tiny amount of additional loot or better loot. And if you are locked at Nightmare Dungeon 60 or 70 with the Nightmare with the Druid, and you cannot push those difficulties, those high difficulties, without those uniques, you're going to suffer and you cannot participate in the grind. And that's why I'm hesitant to pick the Druid. Because Necromancer can just push it. On this character I am level 77, was 77, and I pushed level 50 dungeons. I can do it as a showcase after this one if you want me to. And the Druid cannot do this. Like a level 77 Druid pushing like 30 levels above your character, tough. It's the same with the Sorceress. Not specifically fire builds, but I think they need to adjust the balancing a little bit. I am all for a nice grind at the end game. Don't get me wrong, I really like grinding. Grinding is my jam. Wouldn't be playing Diablo 4 if I wouldn't like grinding. But tying endgame builds that can push those difficulties behind uniques without any way to target farm them is a bit too much, I think. Like, for example, in Last Epoch, there is an item that's called Wings of Argentus. It's basically a top tier item. On no, werewolf build, you want to always have it. However, it's not game breaking if you don't have it. Okay. Damage is quite nice. And that's what I meant. I can just throw my minions inside this pack, otherwise I would have died. So if I play a regular Bone Spear Necromancer and then counter such a pack, I'm basically dead. Cannot do anything. But as a Necromancer you have quite a good defenses. I've played 350 hours of Madrid in no time. So yeah, what can I say? I'm at 490 hours. 490 hours. Currently on Madrid, and I haven't dropped it. I have 10 Chrome staffs. Too many slides. There we go. The best thing about minions is they don't die with one hit. On the Necromancer. The wolves die in one hit. Because the Necromancer have a neat little passive down here that prevents your minions from getting one shot. So they need 4 hits to die, and you can heal them with the priest. They should probably do something like that for the wolves, for the druids, so they don't die constantly when they are in the Lilith fight. And you cannot heal your wolves. It's kind of weird that you have only one companion that's out on the field. The ravens cannot die, the poison creepers cannot die, and you don't have anything else that you can put out. I would like to have rats or snakes. Cougar, tiger, something like that. So let's see how we perform at the boss.
I need more time.
I hate you. Tempest Throw. 3 Crone Staffs. The dream. I dropped my first Crone Staff at no, I don't know which nightmare difficulty, but level 85. Let's do those. Unexalt maybe. Black Asylum. Ooh, this one is really bad. Let's sort them. Let's do this one. Dark Pulse is quite nice to run. I don't think they will change the drop rates for Season 1. Pretty sure those are baked already in the patch. So the changes we are getting, nothing will change now. Pretty much the patch we got last week is everything they implemented based on feedback. And the buffs for most classes were like 1% more damage on a basic skill, of 10% more damage on a basic skill. So basically nothing that really substantially shakes up the meta. If you look at Incinerate Sorceress, so for example, really, really bad. And there's a ton of skills like that. Oh, that's quite nice. I can sell this.
All things have value, I suppose.
Production, that's not good. It's so hard to roll even one good ring on Necromancer. By the way, all the rings I have here, like only this one I rolled. This one is quite nice on Necromancer, but this one I just imported. Because it's so good. It has the perfect stats for Necromancer. Like lucky hit chance would be better, but I'm not using the lucky hit chance unique aspect thingy. recovers spirit, essence, and spirit. So it's actually worth using the non-ancestral unique in the game. Yes, it is. It is worth. Was for the trample slide build and chron slide build, the helmet I was using was a Vasilis with 692 item power, so a sacred one, because I couldn't find an ancestral one. Now I have one, but early on, didn't have one.
Yes, yes, I'll take it.
We can improve our gear. And that's quite nice, to be honest. But it's sacred. I think I already have one of those. Decompose. But it's a perfect roll. I'll keep it. Just extract it. Wanted to do a shadow build anyway, so I think I don't have it. No, I don't have it. So we'll extract those and start the dungeon. So this one is leaky. Finally, I wanted to stream yesterday, but I was really tired after putting out the guide. Recorded, edited, and made everything in like 3 hours or 4 hours. So let's extract this and this one. Then we're going to pop a potion. Let's see. This one is, by the way, base life dependent. So when we pop this one, it's just improving the base life of our character, not the maximum life. It's a scam because there is an X here on the buff. I can. So next, abandoned mines. Oh, it's the lightning collar. You know what? Fuck it. Not going to do this. Nightmare portals. Less damage. Let's go with this one. Lightning collar one is awful to play on this build. Trying to find out. Okay, that's Discord messages. There was a post on Reddit which I wanted to comment. So a lot of people are pissed off that basically every single video on YouTube for the Necromancer, for the Diablo 4, doesn't matter, is a clickbait title with the new best. We are a small community, so I will tell you. It's basically impossible to not make clickbait titles because of how the YouTube algorithm works. If you make a non-clickbait title, the impression rate, the impressions the video gets, are basically non-existent. So you even get emails and messages from YouTube recommending you to make your titles and thumbnails more exciting. So they're promoting clickbait. But it needs to be clickbait that's kind of true. Like, for example, if you're making a build and someone shows up and tells you it's not what you showed, and it gets a ton of dislikes on the video, it's going to, well, break, and you're basically at ground zero at this point. But if you make a clickbait title and then prove your concept, and it doesn't get bombed, drowned in dislikes, it's going to get promoted quite heavily. And you have seen people like Vuji and Rex try this and try to compete, and they try to half-ass a few guides, and even those get shit on in the thread, and it makes me kind of sad, because I really like watching Vuji, for example. It's a hot topic. Kind of enjoy this gameplay. It's meditative. So next we want, I think 1 point. Let's count 10, 20, 40. Yeah, we just need 2 points and then we unlock this glyph and then we can move on from this cluster because we only need those. So the magic nodes here. Everything else here is basically useless. So this one is just to make your minions tanky. And for this one I'm not entirely sure if I want to pick this specific board for the Flesh Eater. Or this one. Where is it? Fucking monster. This one. Because this one has a ton of, where is it? Crit strike damage, damage to injured, armor, crit strike damage, damage to healthy, injured, and armor. So this board has a ton of really good rare nodes. But the Scent of Death is not really good because we're currently always surrounded by corpses, so we never get the damage buff. On Lilith, may be good. Maybe I should just grab the board. Not sure. I need to think about that. Did I miss something? Yeah, I missed one. By the way, the enemies that spawn from the portal are giving you XP and loot. So it's actually better to not clear the portal and let it just teleport back to you. And we died. Double freeze, couldn't do anything. I knew it as soon as those spiders jumped me. That frost symbol. So we don't have any minions yet. So we need to get a few of those. So we do like this. To do clear? Yeah, we cleared. Now we can build our minions and we are fine again. So that's why we need Bone Prison. You can trap enemies in the Bone Prison, the spiders specifically, and they do nothing. They just sit in there and don't clear the wall. And we died again. After the patch, the freezing enemies are dealing like a massive Frost Nova type pulse of damage. And it's much bigger than before the patch. So I think this one is buggy. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. See? There we go. So my biggest wish for the season 1 would be for them to just remove the frost enemies out of the game. Specifically the on-hit frost thing. The wind wall is kind of fine. Let's see, there's nothing here. Maybe the frost pulses are also fine. Let's recover. There we go.
Bless you.
Not bad. Ranks the bone spear, but it's a Nah, I think that's not worth it. Sucks that this one only has 3 ranks to Bone Spear. So wait, I think I will replenish. Really need to be careful here, because those enemies are invisible and spawn behind you sometimes, and if they have the frost mode, you're basically dead. Okay, nice, nice, nice. We can dash in here. Yes, nice, a lethal shrine. I've played so much druid. I'm always hoping for a Tempest Throw whenever this chest pops out. I should be hoping for the ring. Necromancer minion ring. Okay, that's really bad. Injured damage reduction is OP. I am from Austria. Thank you, sir.
I lack the required essence.
I think for this Necromancer I'm going to make the guide as soon as I get the last board ready. And maybe 85. 85 looks to me like a sweet spot. So I can showcase 50 plus gameplay. And there is a lot more room for improvement. Don't feel like many people are going to get to 90 plus. Because there is a massive increase in the experience requirements after that point. Okay. No idea what happened here. For the poison druid, by the way, I was experimenting with the werebear aspect first, but it's so buggy and so unreliant that I just couldn't bring myself to really make it work. Especially since the best way to make it work is with Tempest Draw as a bear. So you constantly proc it with your Storm Strike and can pulverize afterwards. So I know this works because there was a Uberliv kill that utilized this exact concept. No problem. I'm glad I helped you enjoy the game more. One positive is, because I didn't get the Tempest Draw, I was experimenting with completely different things than basically every other creator on the platform. Three more levels, then we have the increased range. Our minions are going to be much more tanky. So, what's next? Morgan works. I haven't ran Morgans in a while, so let's do Morgans. so nice to just teleport to the dungeon. Well, shit, my mousepad isn't. I can live with that. But my mousepad is wet. Much better. Thank you a lot for the donation. Been wanting to change characters, but I haven't had the time to test everything on my druid. Still enjoy the druid, but you're right about clickbait titles everyone uses. It's sadly the case. I can, you know, I can show you what I made for the past month. I don't mind, really. It's not much. Like, basically, it's before taxes. Like, you need to understand most of the content creators on the platform do need to pay taxes, and quite hefty ones, because you're usually not exempt from taxes, even at lower brackets. So, in Austria, for example, there is an exemption for the first 12k you make on the platform, but only for labor as someone that's not, how do I put it, working for someone else. Okay, my little girl is coming back from playtime. My mother was looking after her, so you might hear her cry out in a few minutes, but I hope you don't mind. I will hopefully still be able to stream. But yeah, the clickbait titles are sadly something that's not going to be easily dealt with because of how YouTube works. You need to be on top. If you do not use clickbait titles, you're basically at a disadvantage always. There is, even if you do like incredible content and it's just the best thing ever on the platform, if you do not do clickbait titles, you're done. Even the best of the best, the top earner on the platform, are doing clickbait titles, and that's just how it is. I lost the game, basically, because I was refusing to do clickbait titles for like 2.5 years. And when I uploaded the first YouTube videos on Diablo 4, and they are basically completely underperformed, like at a level that was not normal to me, I checked out other content creators and I understood why. That's just the sad truth. I think you should try the Necromancer. You should. My recommendation is give it a go, give it a spin, see how you like it, especially during leveling, and then decide what you want to do for Season 1. Because it's, I think, a bad decision to wait until the season to try classes because of the race. Like, I think they will introduce ladders, possibly. So that's something I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm not a hardcore player, so I will not do any hardcore content. I built way too squishy. So some people said the poison pop was a bug and or an expert, and they patched it. No, it's still up. It's still completely fine. Like, the poison pop is how the poison just works for the druid. But there was a bug before that got patched. Like, there is a video. I will look it up and I will show you what I... After this one I will show you. Because it's hard to explain what he was doing.
I'm out of essence.
My ping? Let's see, 42 ms. It highly depends on the on the type of content I'm doing. Outworld, the overworld content is like 100 ms most of the time. But if I'm doing dungeon content, it's 40 ms, so completely fine. Yeah, you can probably hear her. Yeah, for this one, I was leveling, I think 3 hours. It took me like 3 hours to get to level 50 with this build. But I was just spamming Outworld content and Nightmare Dungeons after level 40 because this build can take it. Like the Born Spear, as soon as you hit this one, no, this one, the splintering aspect, you're good to go. You wreck through every type of content after you get this.
You're a saint.
Oh. Damn, the damage is just so high. I'm not using...
I cannot carry
Well, I'm using one week. Okay. I can hopefully still stream, but I'm doubtful at this point. Yeah, the best thing is I have no problems inside dungeons, like no rubber banding, no lag, no delays. It's perfectly fine, perfectly smooth gameplay. But as soon as I enter Hell Tides, oh boy, hard to deal with. By the way, there is a memory leak going on with the game. And if you don't want it to happen, you need to lower your graphical fidelity to medium or lower. If you're playing at high or at ultra, you're getting those micro stutters and the stuttering. Oh no, that's going to be tough. Am I frozen? Yeah, that's going to be really tough to deal with. The frozen wall. Okay, we made it, we made it. Didn't expect this to work, but we made it. Oh, I nearly died to the effects. What did we get? Bloodlands. Not worth it. To suppress freezing enemies, oof, big oof. But we can deal with them. At least something. That's something, by the way, I really like about this game. You're clearly shown what you're facing. I never feel like I'm bullshitted, like nothing really off-screens me except like the corpse ballistas. The corpse ballistas are bullshit, but everything else is fine, I think. You can avoid most encounters, you can deal with them with clever mechanics or abuse of the AI. Like most enemies don't want to cross into doorways, so you get a little bit of breathing room, especially with Necromancer minions. Yeah, the suppressor are really annoying. I'm not entirely sure why they are so common. And why they're on elite enemies. And why you cannot just break the barrier. Like in Power of Exile, when you deal enough damage, you're going to break through the barrier some enemies put out. But here you cannot do this. And that's really frustrating on range builds, because you're forced to go into melee range. And some enemies deal insane amounts of damage if you get inside the suppress ring, even at the outer edge of the suppress ring. It's kind of annoying. But that's, I think, the suppress modifier and the one cold modifier that modifies enemies to just slap you and freeze you. Those are the two most annoying modifiers. Everything else can be dealt with. Like the frost wall is kind of fun to deal with because it slows projectiles.
I'm out of essence.
So you can walk around certain encounters and try to outmaneuver them, especially since it has a cooldown. But others don't, and that's, yeah. Damage is just insane. So without any setup, that's so insane. Like Necromancers. I feel like Bone Spear will get a hefty nerf. By the way, this aspect, this single aspect, makes your prison a guaranteed lucky hit. So if you have this one on your character and you want to proc any lucky hit, doesn't matter which one, you just slap it on and you're constantly proccing this one. That's a bug and it's known. And I know a lot of people think that's a clever use of game mechanics, but it's not. It's a confirmed bug and there's a blue post about it and it will be fixed with the next patch, most likely. Yeah, being chain frozen is big oof. Really not good. I hope they will remove, at least for the first season, the cold modifier. Specifically this one that enchants like spiders, or there's like this insect thingies that jump to you and are really fast and attack really fast. So they have like 40% cold, chilling on you. So when they hit you repeatedly, like 2 or 3 times, you're constantly frozen. And there is like no grace period. That's like the worst one.
I got sharp, blunt, sinister.
So let's check gear. There's nothing. Wait, this one maybe? No.
That's a deal.
No. That's good. Crit, int, all stats. At low item power.
Yeah, give it over.
No. If those are garbage. Boss gear, that's not good. This one I want to extract. Nothing. Nope. And we are good to go.
My burden is too great.
One more point, then we can unlock this one. So let's do... I like this dungeon. Let's do this one. This one was, by the way, the first dungeon I ever cleared during the beta. Really liking the assets in there. It's probably my favorite dungeon to run, just visually. No, cold resistance sadly doesn't lower this one. So what I would like them to do is to implement something to reduce the crowd control duration, but more common. Like I know there is a modifier, but it's extremely rare. You can find it on I think chest armor. That lowers the cooldown duration of every single CC. So you can kind of get there, but it also scales like resistances and damage reduction, so you cannot get CC immune with this one. I think the druid has 24% or 28% on the tree. With the modifier you can get like 40% reduction or 50% reduction, something like that.
What is this?
I hope they will implement something like that for resistances, like poison resistance lowers the poison duration because it's currently broken scaling. I think it's not affected by armor and DR, so when something poisons you, you get like basically the whole globe of poison damage. Yeah, when fortified. Like that would probably solve everything. Like get But nah, I don't think it would, so no, never mind, never mind. Some classes have no access to Fortified. So, for example, the Sorcerers would be screwed still. I know there's Teleport for the Unstoppable, but would make it still mandatory while other classes don't have it. Like, for example, the Druid doesn't need it, because you get basically permanent Unstoppable with Bulwark and Trample. But other classes don't have that luxury. Like, for example, this class, the Necromancer, only has it on like one ability, I think the Blood Mist. So let's recover Meat Wall. Yeah, so that's the chip damage. So my skeleton just lost 30% of his life, but it's still alive. Otherwise it would have been one shot. There we go. That's one.
I'm out of essence.
I just like this playstyle, I don't know why. It's tactical, it's a lot more tactical than the Druid spam. You need to think about positioning, your minions, you use all your abilities with purpose. Oh no, oh no, oh no, and we are possibly dead? No? Okay, we survived, that's good. But that's, for example, a really bad FX. Like the Earth Walls with the Stormcaller one. Oh boy. That killed me quite a few times. Like, they can put up a wall and you cannot dash through it because it's a solid wall. It's like a wall like this. So you're locked behind that wall and cannot get under the globe. Oof. Big damage. I think that they should introduce a stat that's a lot more common and that's additive. So you can reach CC immunity. Or get it down to like 90% reduction. So yes, you are getting stunned, but you can act afterwards and run away. It would provide a little bit more nuance to the itemization. And that's something I think the game is still missing. Like, itemization is... Ooh, that's bad. Itemization is a little bit on the bad side.
I'm not ready yet.
Bit of a wall, pull them in. Nice. We survived. Took a little bit more brain, but we survived. Surprised he didn't one-shot me. What I also noticed is you can just lock enemies inside the wall and they will stop acting altogether. I think like they are stunned or something, but they cannot get unstoppable. Okay. Oh, this is a... yeah, that's a boom ballista. Immediately knew what hit me. Okay, so this one is down first. Corrigan has like 4 layouts, so that's why I like to run it. So we can get our minions back. Get so much essence through minions. Ooh, my first 1 million crit. Nice. Yeah, topaz is in damage for damage reduction in your armor essential. I think on the Necromancer and Sorcerer specifically. I currently don't have them in my gear because I am lazy looting, but yeah, I would exchange them immediately if I looted them. So thanks for reminding me, I need to look for topazes. They're exceptionally good. They provide you with like 45% damage reduction if you have 5 of them. And they're proc on every type of CC, like a slow, just a chill, like for 8%, they're proccing. Aha, no cursed chest. Group them up. That. Ooh, 1.3k million. I think this dungeon is really good for XP. It's heavily overlooked. Especially in a group you can clear the second part so fast. That's really bad. Hmm. Kind of sad that you cannot use them on a unstoppable build like Trample Slide. Because they are so good. I need to experiment a little bit more with specifically the health ones, because I'm not entirely sure if those are stacking multiplicatively with the Iron Feather. Because I noticed some modifiers do not. Like the one you get on the Paragon board, the one you get on gear, those do stack multiplicatively with the Iron Feather Spirit Boon. But I think the one on the gear do not. Okay, let's replenish our minions. Yeah, that's the chip damage I was talking about. Like when a chest like this pops out those red thingies, the minions basically die. Instantly get one shot because it's multiple instances of really high damage. Bone Charm, nice. Maybe something good. Let's see. Scythe, Bone Charm, da. Compound Fracture and Essence Cost Reduction. That's a really good amulet. That's a really good amulet. But we have a defensive one, so I think we have 2 types of DR. No, only one, so I cannot exchange it. Just one instance of damage reduction while injured. It's up to 40%. That's so good. Like, you're basically getting around 1k HP at this level. And if you have like maybe 15k, 70k, gives you like 3k effective health at low health. By the way, damage in this game is completely whack because it ignores the reduction. So if you get one shot, the damage reduction while injured doesn't matter. Ace of Spade made a video talking about damage reduction while injured in the newest Bulwark video. And he wanted to be precisely at 35% to get the effective HP. Because if he is above the threshold, he's not getting the DR at all. So if the damage does not calculate based on the injured threshold. So for this build specifically, I was thinking putting on a temerity. Because you get the... Yeah, because you basically can not heal with this build. Get a little bit of health regeneration, I think, but that's it. So you can run around at low life basically permanently. That's a really nice idea. Would make use of but temerity heals you on a lucky hit. So you can heal back up to over 35% health, and that's problematic. Because we are not stacking disobedience on this build that good. Because we are not dealing a lot of small hits. So it would be possibly worth it to run temerity with low life, injured tier and tier. But you're also losing one instance of injured damage reduction. Yeah, and you need to have temerity at full life. Yeah, never mind. Not going to work. Sad. Damn. So close to being good. Randomly dropped a 52 Gulran Canal. What? And it's 60% less and suppress modifier. I'm gone. No way I'm going to do this. Yeeted me off the world. Thank you, Tokyo Ocean. Always glad to help.
Dark days upon us. You need a
So those are good. It's always the last one anyway.
Anything else?
Shadow, nope. It's a max roll, but it's low. Blinds the fighter when spawned, pulls in enemies around the effect. That's the one I was looking for. I really want to do a shadow dot build. And I know it's not going to work without the aspects because it sucks. Like, I tried it without. And you need specific aspects. Like, for example, this one. The blinds the fight area, pulls enemies in. When you use the bone prison and enough of your minions, you can then use the crapify to lower the cooldown on your bone prison, and you deal like a ton of dot damage multiplicatively with a lot of instances. Yeah, it's completely fine. You can ask away. Yeah, I know a lot of people quit already, but that's fine. The next season is going to release soon. Let's see what they cook up. So I'm fairly certain a lot of people will come back. Because the game is good. It has a really nice base. Close core bone skills. That's really good. Damn. It's good. Nope. What did I say? Nothing.
Fair trade.
Movement dodge-ons. Nope. Lucky hit crit damage. Fortify generation. If I put crit chance on this one can be good. But I lose a lot of vulnerable damage. Yeah. Damage reduction, fueled by death, essence cost reduction. That's actually pretty good. I can reroll the ranks, and this one would be exceptional. But I'll probably sell it for a lot of money. Those two are really good. Keep them. Thank you. So I have been using the Pinnacle of Crone slide build, loving it. Cannot clear 55 plus Nightmare Dungeons, so should I move away from the build now that I'm level 80? You are 87 and clearing 55 Nightmare Dungeons. That's pretty good. You just need a few more levels, because enemies scale based on the level. So if you are severely underleveled, you have 13 levels difference that you can still improve. And then you will clear level 55 dungeons like it's nothing. Like absolutely nothing. You can demolish that. You should be completely fine until 61. Then you're starting to be challenged. Yeah, that's completely fine. You're over 25 levels above the recommended. Yeah, at level 87, you should be clearing Nightmare Dungeons 3 levels above you. So at 87, you should probably try to dip into 45 and speed clear those, level up, and then try to push at max level to the high Nightmare difficulties. Because the loot at 40, Nightmare Dungeons 40, 45, 50 is basically the same as the one between 50 and 60. And it gets better at around 61, 62. No, you can farm with this one at 61, gear up, and then push to like 75, 80. That's probably the limit of the build. I want to try something. So let's craft a harder sigil. I want to see how this build performs at 20 plus 25. So let's do... What did we get? Cordogan, reduced shadow damage, poison, being hit by crowd control. Okay, that's fine. We can do this.
Father bless.
45 Cordogan. Let's see. Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, the loot improves, but only slightly. Like, somewhere around level 40, you'll start to see a lot less sacred items. And around 61, you're basically only going to see ancestral items. And the chance to get a higher roll than 800 item power is going to improve and improve and improve. So if you want Andariel and stuff like that, you need to drop an item at 820 item power. And that's a lot more likely at high Nightmare Dungeon difficulties. So if you're clearing Nightmare Dungeons 100, you have a much higher chance to get those items. That's why most of the people on this planet do not have those items, because it's basically impossible to clear at with non-abusing builds. Yeah, resource burn is garbage. They can completely remove it and I wouldn't cry. Resource burn, cold, like the cold enchanted one, suppressor can go. Which can go, they're 60% less critical damage can go, or lowered, like maybe 20% less critical damage. I would still run it, I would feel it, but I wouldn't be completely gutted. Same with distance, close, and so on and so forth. Those are garbage. I think they need to work on those a little bit. Like, for example, the poison one and the vulnerable one, this one is basically impossible to run on poison builds. This one is an immediate scrap. So let's try. I would need to do this one. No. Where's the timer? There's a timer. Magic Find makes a huge difference. Magic Find it's basically 30% more loot. What's the time on this one? It's not active. Okay, that's just a bug. It's like 30-45% more more loot, somewhere around the ballpark. Okay, so this one is just a test. I'm going to see how this build performs with a little bit more juice on our necro minions. That's a 45. Okay, so damage is fine. It was to be expected. Okay. I'm not getting one shot, so this one performing quite good at this difficulty. Nice. Really glad to see. 15 points? No, it's a lot more. You get like 4 per level, right? So if you're missing 13 levels, that's over 50 points you're missing. Ooh, poison damage, no. I'm not going to take this path. Poison damage is so overtuned. Buggy. More like it. Oh no, it's a suppress. Oh no, that's the worst case. That's like super bad. Okay, we can clear those. And we're dead. Ah, that's super bad. Suppress and freezing. Need to think about how to clear this room now. I would probably kite them outside and see if we can clear it. Don't have any minions. Yes, we trapped him. That's nice. So let's wait for our cooldowns. Yeah, that's really nice. So the suppressed mob was split. Perfect. That's a perfect example of minion power. Ooh, certain death avoided. Poison explosion. Bone shard. Essence cost crit against injury. Nah, that's not good. Satch. Yeah, 24 program points. The renown grind. I did it already, by the way. Right at the start of the season, so I don't have to do it. Took me like 6 hours. It's not that bad, really. I personally even enjoyed it quite a lot. But I love questing, so... Okay, they're not getting damaged. Weird. Do you enjoy the questing in this game, by the way? Because I am a huge fan of it. I really like the voice acted. No way. Suppress is even worse than I thought. Do you see this? I cannot do shit. It's absorbing my bone splinters in the suppress field. That's so bad. Oof. Nah, suppress can go. I hate this modifier so much. This one is research generation. No, that's not research generation. One more point. We should get this one when we level up. Suppress is the worst FX in this entire game. It makes so many things extremely buggy. I forgot to press the button. Yeah, I did it in 6 hours. You can split farm all dungeons. That's one. And then you just side quest, like you need like 30 minutes or 40 minutes per zone to get the last renown you need. So it's like really fast. You can get the renown done in exceptionally fast of a time. Nah, you're not bad. You didn't abuse certain mechanics. I was just really pushing hard for this. I didn't want to abuse like leveling stuff because I wanted to really savor the moment, each dungeon.
I do not have any
And I don't have any potions left. That's bad. Completely forgot that's 45. Let's recover our minions. Nice. Someone had to switch to World T1 clear dungeons. Someone cleared one entire zone, did every dungeon, did every quest, found every altar, and was level 51 afterwards. So if you do this on World T1 or World T2, doesn't matter. You can do it while leveling. So you can clear like one zone on one character, then move on to the next character when, if you like to. Did they confirm you need to do the main quests, story main quest again for the next season? Not to complain because I liked it, but yeah. It was a Reddit post with proof. Oh man, our minions are not doing well. Minions are getting clobbered. I would really like to. I think I will publish this build after the stream. Grind to level 85. Grab the last. Oh no, that's bad. Do not finish this one. Okay, so you don't have to. I don't know if it's better. Probably not. If you need to do the renown grind again, for the Paragon point specifically, you probably want to skip the story quests. And I locked myself in. Quite bad. Oh, I need to think about this. I have not seen any topaz. I'm looking for them. So we need to extract them from the druid gear I have. I'll check something real quick. That's... Okay, half an hour. Half an hour more time, and then I will stop streaming. Got baby duty afterwards. Yeah, there was a massive benefit. I did the dungeons at World T1. There is no point doing them at high difficulties if you cannot clear them really fast. Okay, all my minions died because of poison. Poison sucks. Two more blood boils. Also need to hit the gym afterwards. Yeah, you can. There's groups. Specifically, there's a Discord, the Diablo 4 Discord, for specifically this purpose. They have a channel where you can group up with people that also need to do the arena grind, specifically for those. But I think only the waypoints are safe for the next season, and Altars of Lilith, so you don't need to do the Paragon board grind right now. No point in that.
I'm out of potions.
Got him. I think I wouldn't recommend doing the grind. Oh my god. This one could have one-shot me, but he missed. Yeah, flawless topaz. I need to replenish my army. Yeah, the Paragon grind is dumb to do at this point. You gain basically nothing. I think the next season starts in 7 days. Pretty sure. So you will need to do this again when the new season starts. God, I hate the poison. Okay, this one didn't one-shot us. Should be one more in the middle, if I'm not mistaken. Should be one here. No, it's down here. Ooh, 1.4 million. It's getting there. Two more levels. Two more levels. Let's check the loot real quick. Black River. When did I loot this one? Huh. Interesting. You can chain up to 2 targets. Sponsor has a chance to spawn in a combo. That's technically a really nice combo. No idea. Maybe the dungeon completion. The dungeon completion. Okay, so this one is entirely possible to do. Great to know. Back to regular dungeons. Let's go with Spring Pines, maybe? I get most of the uniques through dungeon completion. And I think there is a higher drop chance for uniques when you're low level, like 50 to 65. Because no way you're getting so many unique items in that level bracket. By the way, guys, what do you think about the thumbnail? Yeah, Tempest Raw is... I think Tempest Raw is a myth. It's only here to punish us that don't have it.
I'll take it.
Tempest Raw can go eat a bag of poo. Or all I care.
Good. What else you want?
Nope, nope. 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 Nope.
Good deal. Father bless.
Nope. Need to keep those. Need to keep that. Need to keep that. This one can go.
Need something for it?
I've made multiple characters for extra sport. Okay. Yeah, storage space. By the way, storage space. Why do we have 4 tabs and no private tabs for the characters? Cannot imagine how painful it is to have 3 characters you want to gear, and you basically need to save only the best of the best. Because otherwise your stash is going to be exploding. Like the 3 most egregious things in the game are storage space, the minimap. It's extremely small in the top right corner, so you're basically always staring in the top right corner. There is no indicator on the floor. Like for example, if I put this one down, it should indicate on the ground where I need to go. Storage space, again, storage space, I hate it. And the cold and suppress modifier. Those are the most garbage things about the game. But let's move on. Don't like complaining too much. Level 100 on Druid with 4 Tempest and 1 Sacred Vasili. Yeah, some people get extremely lucky with Vasili, some with Tempest, some with Crone. I have 10 Crones, had 4 Sacred Vasilis and 1 Ancestral, and no Tempest draws. I think Tempest draw is... Look, I personally think there is a seed for the character. When you create a character, there is a seed, and this one dictates what aspects are more likely to drop, what uniques are more likely to drop, because otherwise I cannot explain it. Because there is so many people that are complaining they're only dropping one specific aspect, or one specific unique item. And just from random distribution, it shouldn't be that common for people to just drop like 10 Crone Staffs, no Tempest Draw. If they are... And some people like have like 5 Tempest Draws and no Crone Staff. I have a tinfoil specifically for that. Which one? That's Whispering Pines, right? The Gatekeepers. By the way, when you shoot your thingy against the wall, it bounces back. That's really cool. It's like a pinball. Oh no. Minions. Stop bugging out. What was that? Well, that's my minion's heart. One more, I think. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, the Zenith Ring, I dropped them early, like a bunch of them, and then I stopped dropping them completely. Same with the Lilith unique. Oh no. The ring that recovers like 40% of the resource cost when you hit more enemies. I dropped those in only World Tier 3 and stopped dropping them completely in World Tier 4. Like completely. I have not seen them in like 300 hours, both of them. Maybe it's because... Nah, I don't think... level scaling? Maybe the level scaling is doing something? Cannot know for sure. But something has to be up with the drop rates. Oh no, oh no, oh no, no, no. Blister down.
Have no potions.
I need some kind of sustain. I think I will need to switch to Scythe. Down kill heal will help a lot. And I don't think the 50% additional crit damage is going to save me. yeah, there is 100% some kind of threshold. Like, at lower levels you drop specific uniques, and then you just completely stop dropping them. Like, for example, Vasily, I was dropping regularly early on, and I've seen a ton of people talking about, like, they're dropping specifically the Tempest early on, and then they completely stopped dropping it. And for me, it started with 85 for the Crone Staff. I stopped seeing specific uniques completely. Like Mad Wolf's Glee and the Weber one, for example, those two became really common.
I'm not ready yet.
Minions. And the Razor Fang Keep. Okay, after this one, I'm going to sift through the loot. Yeah, better do it at Worthy one. It's a lot faster, and you get basically, compared to Nightmare Dungeons, really no XP. So either do it while leveling, or group farm them. Like, you can invite a lot of people, like 4. It's a lot. And each one does a different dungeon. And you get the completion bonus because someone else did it and you were not in the instance, so you can rush through every single... Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I have nothing. Pretty much dead. At this point, yeah. Pretty much dead. Damn. The suppress field is the most frustrating thing ever, because your Bone Splinters and Bone Spear, even if you're inside, if you shoot them outside and they come back, they disappear. Yes. Thank you. Worst modifier in the entire game. Like, there's nothing worse. I don't know how they didn't manage to balance this one. Like, you play like 5 times against this and you just think, no, let's patch it out. It's completely broken. Probably never playtested this one. Seems like it to me, at least. Half the abilities just stop working on it. Like, half the aspects, like nearly all poison aspects have problems with it. Blood Beast does work, by the way, on it. But the Weber one bricks. Don't have any minions. I was raging too hard. Our essence generation is really garbage without minions. There we go. Much better. No, the thing is, you stand inside the suppress field and you shoot outside and your bone spears disappear. I like when they spawn clumped. No idea how this one slipped quality testing. Damage. Come on. Yeah, stick beside the wall and bounce them off. But if there's anything anything in a way, the bone spirits just disappear and you cannot do anything. It's so frustrating to play versus the suppressed modifier. I put 1 point here just to unlock this one, and if this one gets to 15 I will take this point off because we get one here. You can distribute it to something else. So now I need to think about the flesh eater ones. Do I need to take those? This one is already maxed. This one doesn't care. Yeah, so I need to think about the last board. The last board. We are spamming corpses quite a lot, but I don't think this is worth it at this point. The other board should be better. Specifically since we can slot in the magic one, the magic boosting one, and get a ton of armor. Not possible on this board. The armor is just so OP. Armor is busted compared to every other defensive stat in the game. Yeah, for me it's suppress, cold, reso, and any variation of something that's depending on my damage. Like, for example, crit damage. 60% less crit damage, salvage. 60% less distant damage, salvage. Complete garbage. I'm not going to play this because it guts your damage completely. It's too much. Half of it would be punishing, but 60% is... Anyway... Ref Wilds, no. Witch Tower, no. This one has vulnerable. I can do this one. Witch Water is nice. 61, yes. 70 you will get completely pushed your shit in. Like, no way. The problem with the build I posted is you cannot instantly clear packs. And you don't have the defensive options to stay in a pack. So it's a two-step damage formula. You poison enemies, then you get out, jump back in. With debilitating raw, it's possible to push like 65 comfortably. Everything above that is a struggle. So I wouldn't recommend pushing it with that. It, like I said, the Poison Shred build is for speed farming lower dungeon difficulties, like 45, 55, 60, something like that. Everything above is painful because you don't have the DR to deal with it. And it's really good for Diabloiv. If you know the fight, it can burst her down quite fast. Yeah, I think the suppress modifier shouldn't be on elite enemies, but on regular enemies, like the armor one. The armor one, it's really nice to deal with. You know exactly which enemy has it, you know which enemies you need to burst in first, and then you build a strategy around tackling the pack. But for the suppressed modifier, you're basically boned if there is any kind of... Like, my best example for this one is, if you get a freezing hit, a cold enchanted elite enemy, with the suppressed modifier, it's basically a brick at high difficulties. No build can clear it. Every other modifier is doable. Like, for example, suppress. Regular suppress is frustrating, but doable. But cold enchanted plus the suppress modifier is basically an instant salvage. Like, for example, this modifier. This one enemy has the Oracle. The cold thingy. This one plus the suppress modifier is basically instant GG. I could not have done this exact burst combo, but needed to dive in, freeze dead, no chance. Yeah, Bulwark is abusing a bug. It's pretty clear. Because it scales with the difficulty of the dungeon, with the health pool of the enemy, and it's not stated, so it's dealing percentage enemy health and multiplies it by a certain amount. Specifically for Butcher, you see in the same dungeon, You can go to regular enemies and you never crit above 20 or 60 millions. Then you go to a butcher and you crit for 80 or 140 million. And then you go to Lilith, which is only level 100, and deal basically no damage. So I'm pretty sure it's just abusing a bug, and it will be fixed with the Season 1. Sad, because I kind of like the build. Kind of like it. It's OP as fuck, but it's still a nice, really nice variation of a druid build. It's something different than just running Tempest Draw with basically any build in the game. Poison, Lightning, Storm, all of them need Tempest Draw to really compete in the high-end game. That's why I think it's broken. It shouldn't be like that. Not because I haven't found it. It's just objectively the most broken thing in the game for the druid, because the base class cannot be buffed. If you buff the base class where Tempest Draw exists, like for example the Lightning Storm build or the Tornado build or any poison build, even further, and then have Tempest Draw on top of that, you're basically an immortal god that deals insane amounts of damage and nothing can kill you, nothing can compete with you. And that makes it broken. They cannot buff the baseline of a lot of specific skills because Tempest Draw exists. Vasily, I can argue, Vasily is okay. Vasily is okay. It gives you sustain on Earth builds function without Vasily's perfectly fine. It just improves the build in a substantial way. And there is basically nothing better to grab. Like a Shaco, you can argue you can grab a Shaco. If you ever drop it, like I'm pretty sure they will buff the drop rates for the Season 1. Or introduce some kind of way to target farm those uniques with the season. But Druid is basically locked out of Shaco because they need to run Tempest Draw and they need to run Vasily. And that's not good game design. What is happening? Yeah, I feel Lightning Druid can work at lower difficulties like 50, 55, 60, 61, 65, something like that. But as soon as you get into the high difficulties, you need Tempest Draw for the sustain, you need Tempest Draw for the... Oh boy, that's really bad. Couldn't burst it, couldn't burst it.
I'm not ready
Oh.
yet.
I didn't die, nice. Thank you, damage reduction while injured. But you need Tempest Draw for specifically the spirit consumption reduction with Inner Beast. You need the spirit consumption, the spirit generation with Lust or Carnage. You get a lot of additional armor affixes through the werewolf ones and on death effects. Damn, on death effects kill me. Imagine already, I never played Diablo 3. Never played it. Well, that's a lie, because I played the campaign, but I never grinded Diablo 3. I am a Path of Exile Andy. And Last Epoch Andy. Was just not my style of... graphically. Didn't like the graphics for Diablo 3, and that's why I never touched it. Oh boy. Okay, now I'm not convinced that damage reduction versus while injured is not working while you have full health.
My burden is too great.
Maybe it's working. I'm just imagining things. Oh boy, kill this. Thanks. Travel to the den. Okay. Ah, okay, so you can stash them in a specific inventory slot. 3 more aspects. They would need to introduce a lot of aspects anyway, and then make it so you can target farm them. Because imagine you have like 40 additional aspects, specifically for the human form, lightning form, companion builds, and poison builds. Those need another layer of affixes, like specifically something like the earth ones. Like you have so many modifiers as the earth type of build or the rubber build. But the lightning builds, tornado builds, something like this, they are not scaling enough for high nightmare difficulties. That's why I'm dipping into the werewolf form. So something like that would work, but I need to expand the aspects and then introduce a way to target farm aspects, like for example specific dungeons or something like that. Like an end game reward, basically. Specifically for aspects. I still haven't found the aspect that regenerates essence on a lucky hit.
My bags are full.
I think the best here is the one you can speed farm. So the highest difficulty you can get, but also the fastest you can clear. So for me, right now, on my druid, that's around 55. I basically one-shot everything in the difficulty. I don't need to look at mechanics, I can just rush through dungeons. And that's probably the best difficulty for this type of content. Grinding, basically. With the new season, I'm pretty convinced they are going to introduce the 5th world tier. They scrapped because there was the hell difficulty. And they, during the beta, closed beta, early on. So I'm pretty sure the season 1 will introduce the new difficulty. And that's going to be the progression after level 75, 80, somewhere like that. They'll hopefully introduce specific rewards for that difficulty. Sell. Right? Sell, yeah. Nothing. You develop an eye for good items.
That's a deal.
That's kind of bad. 21%, that's weirdly written. Bloodlands can deal damage, but needs to be AoE. Don't need those. I tried playing Bloodlands, but it's so clunky to use.
My burden is too
No idea why it doesn't penetrate enemies. It's like no damage compared to Bone Spear. So, next one. I'm trying Necro and Sorceress. So I have a Meteor build planned for the Sorceress that I wanted to do. But I still need to level her. So that's a project before Season 1. I wanted to do the Meteor build, and then the Necromancer will get a Bone Spear build, specifically for the minions, and then a Shadow damage build, a dot build, and probably another companion build that's not centered around that. Druid will get another guide. Specifically for something I have been working on, but I don't want to spoil anything. It's something special. Okay, I will talk about it. I wanted to do something with Pulverize. Because Pulverize builds are stale. And you can possibly do Pulverize with poison, right? So, Pulverize poison. Waxing is poison. Yeah, waxing is poison. Waxing is 100% a poison build. Refugee? I'm not... what? Why? I cleared this one. I cleared this one. I have the waypoint. Why did it reset? Every single one of those reset. I have even footage of me doing the cultist dungeon. I'm sad. Well, that sucks. What can I do? Dark Ravine? Dark Ravine is really nice for XP, so let's do Dark Ravine. Poison vulnerable. Okay, I didn't check the modifiers. So my strongholds reset. Nice. That's a funny bug. I should rework the emotes for the channel. What emotes would you like to have on the channel? Because the ones I currently have are just my thumbnail vector art implemented as emotes, those 4. On my Twitch channel I have my face. Ooh. Oh, another Topaz one. Just one more, then I can exchange those. So after this dungeon I'm going to finish the stream, because I need to cook. I'm going to do cow pot. And then I'm going to work towards over 85. By the way, you can check the grouping channel, because yesterday, for example, I was looking for people to play with. And if you want to play with me, I usually do it off stream, not on stream, because I have not set up the Nightbot. I wanted to do it with Nightbot, like a tombola for people that want to play with me, but currently it didn't get it to work. So the best way is to look at the Tier4 channel in the offline mode. And something I want to do before the Season 1 thing ends is a boost with my druid. Like, just so you guys can try a few classes. Maybe after I put out the Necro video. Going to do a stream where I just invite a ton of people and then run 10 dungeons for a few hours. Should get you to level 50, unlock the capstone dungeon, and you can try the class at a high level. I think that's going to be a nice one. Yes. Thanks a lot, and really glad you're enjoying the videos. Okay, that's bad. I don't have any minions, and his defensives modify stacked. Oh boy. How do I deal with this? Okay, those need to explode. Need corpses. Oh boy.
I do not have any potions.
Okay, so I fixed this issue. It's so bad.
I have no potions.
I cannot do anything. Suppress modifier is just garbage. I lost all my bone spear mana. I was getting a little bit tired, so because I'm really hungry. I think I won't be able to find a Tempest Draw before the season starts. Like, I'll be honest, it's been tough. I don't think I can put in another 50 hours of just grinding the Druid, because the next season is going to start in like 7 days, possibly. So I'm pretty sure I won't be able to grab a Tempest Draw in 500 hours of playtime. That's like the worst case scenario, but at this point I wouldn't be surprised. Retry, nice. Just going to enjoy the Necromancer a little bit, push out a few guides for the Necromancer, respec a bit for the Druid. With what I have, without the Tempest Draw, maybe do a leveling guide for the Necromancer, for the Sorceress and for the Druid. For the Season 1. Oh no. Ooh. That's probably a few things I'm going to work towards. Get specifically get leveling guides out for the pinnacle builds, so they are complete. Get this guide out. Do a leveling guide for the Necromancer. Sorceress, Meteor Sorceress. Maybe Blizzard and Ice Shard to Sorceress, because those I also wanted to try. I'm a sucker for ice damage, so that's something I want to dip my toes in. Does this one have? No, this one doesn't have the drain. Yeah, Tempest Draw, I think because I was looking for Tempest Draw so hard. The game just told me, nah. You're done. No Tempest Draw for you. Go build something else. Tempest Draw is for the cool kids. I'm a bit salty. But I think that's fine. If you want to try the next builds, I would go for Shockwave. Keep Shockwave, keep the Werebear Poison Pop. That's going to be rippy. Then... yeah, probably those are two of the more essential. Yeah, I think that's the two most essential ones. Next week I'm going to... so the content menu for next week, before I go, is going to be top things that need to be changed for the Druid class. Then maybe Druid class wish list. Top 3 worst things and top 3 best things about the game. Then the Necro build, Sorcerer build, and possibly another Druid build. Let's see how the season is going to go. And then let's see what I also cook up. I'm not entirely sure what else to expect. But yeah, Lightning Storm Wolf looks insanely fun. I really want to play it because the only build I know there is from Baldur Maximus, whatever his name is. And I looked at it and it was so bad. He didn't explain anything based on the mechanics of the skill, but I didn't get the chance to improve it. So I think the best build maker currently that are a little bit underrated is Carve. Carve is amazing. Has so many ideas that are really good. Ace of Spades has a ton of really good content. So those two are my favorites right now, for example. Did I miss one? Cleared. Yeah, I missed one. There is a way to target Found the Harem. No, there is no way to target Found the Harem. Like, you can do the Cultist Dungeon, the Slums, but trust me, I did over 100. I specifically grouped into cultist farms. Like the Nightmare Dungeon cultist farms and didn't drop it. So yeah, that was tough. I don't think I will do another druid at this point. Yeah, it's like before the season. At the season start I'm going to, but right now not. One more level. Then I think after this one I will be ready to publish the build. Currently I'm running with one. So that's one level. 82, 83. 5 flash out a few things. Maybe 82 should be fine. Rounded Tic Tac. I will look into it. Rounded Tic Tac. I will take note of that name real quick. The thing I didn't like about Pure Bone is you're too reliant on your positioning. It makes it easier and more forgiving for mistake, and you can deal with cold damage modifiers on enemies because you can lock them inside the bone prison, and with your skeletons and your skeleton mages, you're also having a body shield in front of you, so it's easier to deal with really rippy scenarios. I survived quite a few in the stream that otherwise would not be possible. And another thing that I really like about minions is when you go to the Book of Dead and look at the cold mages, the cold skeletons, you have this modifier. Each time cold mages attack, with the primary attack, you regenerate 2 essence. So you don't have any essence issues as long as your mages are alive. And since I didn't drop the one aspect that makes it possible to permanently spam Bone Spear, I think that's the way to go. It's also really nice for leveling, because you have the meat shields in front of you. So that's the primary reason. And you also get a ton of additional corpses from Reapers, so that's also a nice plus. And the Golem is not that good. Like the 30% more critical strike damage on the modifier here is much better. Also this one, where is it? This one that's the one I would have picked if I sacrificed them, and I don't think it's worth it. The additional corpses are much better. So. Okay. So, if you have any more questions, you can ask them underneath this live stream. I will try to answer them. Otherwise, go to the Discord. I will keep an eye out for those questions there. Don't forget to leave a like, of course, on this one. If you have any spare funds, you can always join the channel with the channel membership for a few more emotes, and that's the only time I told you you can do that. For the one donation, thank you very much. I will shout out you one more time, because it was the first donation I had on the channel. Well, there was one in the video, but I really appreciate this. So, there we go. Ice Kang C 817. Thank you so much for the donation. And that's, yeah, I have a Discord. You can actually check the description of the stream. There is a Discord link and a Twitch link. I also have a Twitch channel. You can join the Twitch channel, but I don't think I will ever go to Twitch. Thing is about Twitch, I tried to stream there and had one viewer for 2.5 hours, and no one was watching the stream there. And a lot of people are here, so my audience is here, so I'm going to stream on YouTube. Yeah, thank you a lot, and much appreciated that you all stayed here, talk to me. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And next time I'm going to try, maybe on Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere around that, I will set up a stream specifically to boost people to level 50 or boost a few people through a few dungeons so you can try a few builds on the Poison Shred build. Just to one time, I'll highlight you the speed of the build, and second one, I can interact with the stream a bit more. For this, I'm going to set up a Nightbot. So, see you next time, and thank you so much for watching. So, bye. Now I need to stop the stream. Where is it? There we go.